As you are most likely aware, there was supposed to be another quarterfinal played last night. But as you are most likely aware, for the most tragic of reasons, the Sugar Bowl was postponed until today after the terrorist attack in New Orleans that killed 15 people and injured dozens more. The attack occurred on Bourbon Street, less than a mile from the Superdome. Yesterday, the Georgia team spent much of the day under lockdown orders at the team hotel. Notre Dame head coach Marcus Freeman met with his team yesterday morning and spoke with our Scott Van Pelt about it last night.
The first part of that team meeting was to mourn and to pray for our country and those that are affected. But as we ended that meeting, we had to redirect our focus towards preparing for this game. And we had to utilize this time that we have today and tomorrow morning to continue to prepare for this opportunity. What I told the team is in the toughest moments, the culture of any program of a nation is revealed. And I have a lot of faith this country will rally around New Orleans and support all the victims and families that were affected today.
So it goes without saying, the impact on the football game is about as low on the list of significant concerns that come out of this issue as can be. And that said, we are a sports program and there are huge football ramifications. Laura Rutledge is live with us this morning at the Superdome after doing extraordinary work covering all of this yesterday. And Laura, the question that I've heard the most often from people is, how did they arrive at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central today to play this game?
Well, Greeny, it was a lot of discussion that got to that point. And we're talking discussion between the Sugar Bowl officials, the college football playoffs, the teams, the FBI, the city of New Orleans. And the reason why they landed at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 Central is because there is an extremely quick turnaround for whichever team wins this game into the Orange Bowl, which is a week away. And so less time to prepare for the team that will play Penn State in that game. And as you said so well, all of that pales into comparison to what happened here and the tragedy certainly that occurred. But these teams did have to think about the schedule and doing what's best for the athletes and everybody involved, right? So that was a long meeting that happened yesterday midday where they were trying to figure out exactly what they would do. And the postponement of 24 hours, at first we thought that meant it would be a true 24 hours. It would be a game happening tonight. But we started to get word that both teams especially were pushing toward the earlier start time, as early possible start time for today.
Understood. Well, what else do the fans need to know about the experience the players had yesterday and everything else, and how, if at all, we should expect it to impact the game today?
Yeah, so yesterday, both teams were sequestered at their hotels. Georgia had a shelter in place as soon as they realized what was going on and trying to gather more information. So they didn't allow any of their players, any of their staff, their personnel to leave their hotels. Now, later on, as the day went along and they gathered more info, added more security, law enforcement has come to New Orleans in full swing. There's law enforcement everywhere. They felt the hotel was secure enough where Georgia actually came over here to the Superdome yesterday and did do a practice, a light practice in the evening around 6 p.m. local. Notre Dame stayed over at their hotel. They did some practices in ballrooms. And as you heard Marcus Freeman saying, they mourned the victims of this tragedy, of these attacks, and then did turn their attention toward trying to prepare an extra day to prepare and look at the film, certainly for Georgia, but maybe even looking forward. I would imagine that you saw that on both sides, trying to do everything they can to maximize any time that they have right now. And then, as you talk to both coaches, I mean, Kirby Smart was in shock a lot of the day. He was trying to gather what he could about what would happen. There was a lot of information around the increased security here at the Superdome, and I can tell you that's been beefed up big time. It's a second layer of security. I actually just went through it to get into this building, and you go through the initial check, and then you go through another full check, almost like a TSA type situation where you're going to put your bag through everything. And that was something that they implemented as soon as they found out that we would be playing this game. They wanted to add as much security as possible. I had one law enforcement official tell me the Superdome may be the safest place in New Orleans today.
Well, look, the safety of all people involved, the players, the teams, the fans, and everyone in the city obviously takes precedence over anything else. Laura, your work has been terrific on all of this. We'll watch your coverage all through the day, and then we will see The All-State Sugar Bowl today, 4 o'clock Eastern time, right here on ESPN. Again, a critical matchup, Notre Dame and Georgia, and the winner will have the quick turnaround. They will play Penn State in the semifinals. That game will be played 1 week from today.